If you're trying to decide between living in New York City or Long Island, you've probably asked yourself this question: is Long Island actually better than New York City? And the honest answer is going to be, it depends on what you value, because these are two completely different lifestyles, even though they're right next to each other. So in this video, I'm going to break down the key differences between Long Island and New York City. Not just the obvious ones, but the ones that actually impact your day-to-day life. And by the end of this video, you should have a much clearer idea of which one makes more sense for you. So let's start with the first big difference, which is going to be space. This is the most obvious one, especially in New York City and Manhattan, where space is limited. You're usually living in an apartment and square footage is at a premium. On Long Island, you're typically looking at a house, more space, more rooms, maybe a backyard, maybe a driveway. That alone is one of the biggest reasons why people move out of the city. So if space is a priority for you, then Long Island has a clear advantage. Now let's talk about lifestyle. New York City is super fast paced. Everything is right there. Restaurants, nightlife, events, culture, it's constant. And Long Island is more suburban. It's a little bit quieter. It's more spread out. It's generally slower. That doesn't mean that there's nothing to do. There are plenty of restaurants. There's some great downtown areas. You got the beautiful beaches, but it's not the same energy as the Big Apple. So this really comes down to your personality. Do you want constant activity, or do you want something a little bit more relaxed? Next is going to be commuting. If you live in Long Island and work in the city, your life is going to involve the Long Island Railroad, okay? Depending on where you live, that commute can be anywhere from 30 minutes to well over an hour. In the city, commuting is usually easier. You got the subway, you can walk, of course, you got the walking, shorter distances. So again, it's a trade-off. Long Island gives you space, but you may be trading time. So next, let's talk about the cost. So about the money, right? A lot of people assume Long Island is cheaper than New York City. In some ways, it is, but it's not always dramatically cheaper. It's just structured a little bit differently. So in the city, you're paying a premium for location, often for smaller spaces. But on Long Island, you're usually buying a home, which means you have a mortgage, you have property taxes, you got maintenance and other costs. Property taxes on Long Island are something you really need to factor in. So while you may get more money for your buck in terms of space, your overall monthly cost might not be as different as you would expect. Another big difference is going to be transportation. In New York City, you don't need a car. You can walk, you can take a subway, or you can use Uber or some sort of ride share. On Long Island, you're most likely going to need you're going to need a car. Okay, things are more spread out. And daily life usually involves driving. That's a lifestyle shift that a lot of people underestimate. So now let's talk about environment. New York City is very dense. It's busy. It's urban. Long Island gives you more of a suburban or coastal kind of beachy kind of feel. You got access to beaches. You got access to parks. And more often, you got more open space. And that's a huge draw for a lot of people, especially if you want to be outdoors. Or you just want to have a little bit more breathe. Another thing is community. On Long Island, many neighborhoods have more of a community feel. People tend to stay longer. You have local events, and there's more of that neighborhood type of atmosphere. And the city is a little bit more fast paced. It's a little more transient. Again, it's not better or worse. It's just different, right? So when people ask, is Long Island better than New York City? Here's the reality. Long Island is better, which for me, I love Long Island, right? But it's better if you want more space, you want a quieter environment, and you want a more suburban lifestyle. Whereas New York City is better if you want convenience, you want walkability, you want constant activity, and you want energy. And here's what I see happen all the time. People move out to Long Island when they want a lifestyle change, when they want more space, they want more stability, a different pace. And sometimes people move back to the city when they miss all the energy and the convenience. So there's no right answer. It's just about what fits you and what you're looking for. So before you make that decision, take a step back and think about your daily life. Where do you want to spend your time? How do you want your routine to feel? Because that's what really determines which one is better for you. So if you're trying to decide between Long Island and New York City and you want help breaking down what makes the most sense based on your situation, feel free to reach out to me by either texting, calling, or emailing me. All of my information is down below. My name is Nigel Wingate. I've lived in New York all of my life, and I'd be happy to help you map it all out. Look forward to seeing you all in the next video. Have a great day.